Bandwa is a striking figure, a perfect blend of his warrior father and sorceress mother. He stands tall, with a lean and muscular physique, a testament to his rigorous training. His hair, as dark as the Zephyrian night, falls in loose waves to his shoulders. His eyes, a vibrant green, are reminiscent of the enchanted forest, filled with wisdom and courage. He usually wears a tunic of deep blue, the color of Zephyria's starlit sky, with a cloak of silver, symbolizing the magical heritage of his mother. Hanging by his side is his father's sword, its hilt adorned with precious stones, and tucked in his belt is his mother's wand, a piece of ancient, gnarled wood pulsing with magical energy. His presence is a beacon of hope for his people, a symbol of balance between magic and war. In the mystical land of Zephyria, where magic and warriors coexisted, a child was born under the rare celestial event of the Zephyr star. His parents, a brave warrior and a wise sorceress, named him Bandwa. As the first rays of dawn touched Zephyria, Elder MySN101, the most respected seer, rushed to Bandwa's home. Panting, he declared, "A child born under the Zephyr star. He is the one from the prophecy." Bandwa's father, though Ren, a man of strength and honor, furrowed his brows. "What prophecy, MySN101?" he asked, his voice echoing in the silent room. MySN101, with his eyes gleaming with excitement, explained, "The prophecy that speaks of a child who will bring balance between the realms of magic and war. I believe Bandwa is this child." Bandwa's mother, Seraphina, a woman of incredible beauty and wisdom, held her newborn closer. "Are you certain, MySN101?" she asked, her voice filled with concern. MySN101 nodded. "I am, Seraphina. The stars do not lie." From that day forward, Bandwa's life took a turn. He was not just the Ren and Seraphina's son, he was Zephyria's chosen one, the child of the prophecy. In the heart of Zephyria, where the grandeur of the warrior's arena met the tranquility of the magic tower, Bandwa's training began. Though Ren, Bandwa's father, was the first to train him. "Son," he said, holding up his sword, "this is not just a weapon, it is an extension of your will. You must learn to wield it with courage and honor." Bandwa, young but determined, nodded, gripping the wooden training sword. "I understand, father. I won't let you down," he said, his small voice echoing his resolve. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and Bandwa's strength grew. His strikes became more precise, his movements more agile. He was becoming a warrior, just like his father. Meanwhile, in the serene confines of the magic tower, Seraphina began teaching Bandwa the art of magic. "Magic, Bandwa," she explained, "is not just about casting spells. It's about understanding the essence of life itself." Bandwa listened attentively, his eyes wide with curiosity. "I want to understand, mother. I want to learn," he said, his voice filled with determination, and learn he did. Bandwa began to understand the language of the elements, the whispers of the wind, the murmurs of the water, the crackle of the fire, and the silence of the earth. He was becoming a wizard, just like his mother. As Bandwa's training progressed, the people of Zephyria watched in awe. The child of the prophecy was coming into his own, slowly but surely becoming the beacon of hope they had all been waiting for. After years of relentless training, Bandwa's 16th birthday arrived, a day of great significance in Zephyria. It was the day when a warrior was gifted his first real sword, and a wizard, their first wand. For Bandwa, it was both. I in the warrior's arena, though Ren presented Bandwa with a sword. "This sword," he said, his voice filled with pride, "was forged from the heart of a fallen star. It is as sharp as your courage, Bandwa. Wield it with honor." Bandwa took the sword, its weight a comforting presence in his hand. "Thank you, father," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "I will make you proud." Later, in the magic tower, Seraphina handed Bandwa a wand. "This wand," she said, her eyes sparkling with joy, "is made from the branch of the oldest tree in Zephyria. It is as flexible as your wisdom, Bandwa. Use it with kindness." Bandwa took the wand, its energy pulsing in harmony with his heartbeat. "Thank you, mother," he said, his eyes reflecting his determination. "I will use it wisely." From that day forward, Bandwa was never seen without his sword and wand. They were not just weapons, but symbols of his heritage, a constant reminder of his duty to Zephyria. With every sunrise, his understanding of his role in the prophecy deepened. He was the bridge between magic and war, the balance that Zephyria needed, and he was ready to face whatever came his way. Bandua's first challenge arrived in the form of a riddle, whispered by the wind and echoed by the waters of Zephyria. In the heart of the forest, where shadows dance and light is scarce, lies a beast with a heart of stone. Who will dare to face it alone? The riddle spread across Zephyria, causing a stir among the people. The elders knew this was a test from the ancient spirits of the land, a test for their chosen one. Bandua, hearing the riddle, felt a strange pull towards the forest. He knew his first challenge awaited him. With his sword and wand in hand, Bandua ventured into the forest. The deeper he went, the darker it got, the shadows dancing around him, whispering secrets of the ancient land. His heart pounded in his chest, but his resolve was unshakable. In the heart of the forest, he found it. A beast, as large as the ancient trees, with a hide as tough as stone. Its eyes glowed with an eerie light, and it roared, shaking the very ground beneath Bandua's feet. "I am Bandua," he declared, his voice echoing through the forest. "I am here to face you, not out of arrogance, but to prove that I am ready to protect Zephyria." The beast roared again, charging towards Bandua. The battle had begun. Bandua fought with all his might, his sword meeting the beast's tough hide, his magic deflecting its powerful strikes. The forest echoed with the sounds of their clash, a dance of power and determination. But then, something unexpected happened. As Bandua dodged one of the beast's attacks, he stumbled upon a hidden inscription on a stone. It was old as the forest itself, and it read, "The beast's heart is not outside, but within." A realization dawned upon Bandua, that the heart of stone was not the beast's hide, but its actual heart. But how was he to reach it? As Bandua stood facing the beast, a memory stirred within him. It was a story his mother, Seraphina, had told him when he was just 5 years old. A tale about a creature with a heart of stone. Long ago, the beast was a guardian spirit of the forest, a gentle creature that protected the flora and fauna. But an ancient sorcerer, jealous of the creature's bond with nature, cursed it. The curse turned the guardian's heart into stone, stripping it of its emotions and gentleness, and transforming it into a monstrous beast. The heart of stone was not just a physical transformation. It was a symbol of the beast's lost identity, its transformation from a guardian to a monster. The curse could only be broken by someone who could face the beast, not with the intention to kill, but with the desire to heal. As Bandua remembered this story, he understood his challenge. He was not there to slay the beast. He was there to save it. With newfound determination, Bandua faced the beast. "I am not here to harm you," he declared, his voice filled with sincerity. "I am here to break the curse and free you." The beast roared, its eyes reflecting confusion and rage. The battle resumed, but this time, Bandua fought not to defeat, but to reach the beast's heart. With every dodge and counter, Bandua moved closer to the beast, his sword deflecting attacks, his magic shielding him. And then, in a swift move, he jumped onto the beast, his hand placed over its heart. "I free you from this curse," he said, channeling his magic into the beast. There was a bright flash of light, and then silence. As the light faded, the beast's monstrous form began to shrink, its harsh features softening. Where once stood a terrifying creature now stood a gentle guardian, its eyes filled with gratitude. The guardian looked at Bandua, its gaze no longer filled with rage but with warmth. "Thank you," it said, its voice a deep rumble like distant thunder. "You have freed me from a curse that bound me for centuries. I am in your debt." Bandua, surprised by the guardian's speech, laughed. "I did what anyone in Zephyria would do," he said, his heart light. "You were in need, and I helped." The guardian bowed its head. "In gratitude, I offer my service to you, Bandua. Call upon me when you need, and I shall be there." Bandua grinned, extending his hand to the guardian. "I'd rather have a friend than a servant." "What do you say?" The guardian, taken aback, looked at Bandua's extended hand, and then back at his face. And then, it did something unexpected. It laughed, a sound like rolling thunder, and accepted Bandua's hand. "A friend, then. It's been a while since I had one of those." As they walked back towards Zephyria, Bandua pondered over a suitable name for his new friend. "How about the Stoneheart?" It's a reminder of your past and the strength you possess." Stoneheart chuckled. "A fitting name. Bandwa. I accept it with honor." And so, Bandwa returned to Zephyria, not just as the child of prophecy who completed his first challenge, but also with a new friend, Stoneheart. Their laughter echoed through the land, a sound of victory, friendship, and hope. After the excitement of his first challenge, Bandwa and his new friend, Stoneheart, returned to a peaceful Zephyria. The days were filled with laughter, training, and tales of old. Bandwa spent his time learning more about the magic and warrior skills, while Stoneheart shared stories of the ancient forest and its secrets. Bandwa's parents, though Ren and Seraphina, watched their son with pride. They saw him not just as the child of prophecy, but as a young man who was kind, brave, and wise beyond his years. This period of peace was a much-needed respite for Bandwa, a time to gather his strength and enjoy the simple pleasures of life in Zephyria. As the days passed, the people of Zephyria went about their lives, unaware of the danger looming on the horizon. Bandwa, however, felt a strange unease. He knew these peaceful days were numbered, and a new challenge was soon to arrive. Despite this, he made the most of his time, strengthening his bond with Stoneheart, learning new spells from his mother, and practicing combat skills with his father. He also spent time with the people of Zephyria, understanding their hopes and fears, their dreams and struggles. As the sun set each day, Bandwa looked towards the horizon, ready to face whatever came his way. He was no longer just a boy, he was a warrior, a wizard, and a friend. While Bandwa and Stoneheart were deep in the forest, exploring ancient ruins and seeking clues about Zephyria's past, a shadow fell upon their homeland. The dark sorcerer had arrived, his power casting a pall of dread over Zephyria, though Ren and Seraphina, aware of the danger, stepped forward to defend their home. They fought valiantly, their combined strength holding back the sorcerer's dark magic. But the sorcerer was powerful, his magic fueled by the life force he had drained from other lands in the ensuing battle. Though Ren was gravely wounded, his strength waning with each passing moment, Seraphina, in an attempt to protect him, used a powerful spell that left her unconscious. The people of Zephyria, caught in the crossfire, suffered heavy losses. Homes were burned, lives were lost, and Zephyria, once a vibrant land, was left in ruins. Meanwhile, Bandwa and Stoneheart, oblivious to the chaos at home, continued their exploration. Little did they know that their peaceful quest was about to turn into a race against time to save their homeland. Deep in the forest, Bandwa and Stoneheart felt a sudden shift in the air. The wind carried a scent of smoke and the distant echoes of chaos. Something was wrong. Bandwa, his heart pounding with a sudden fear, turned to Stoneheart. "We need to get back to Zephyria." Now, they raced through the forest, their previous exploration forgotten. As they neared Zephyria, the full extent of the devastation hit them. Smoke billowed from the ruins, the once vibrant land now a picture of desolation. Bandwa's heart clenched as he ran towards his home, only to find it in ruins. His parents, both unconscious, were being tended to by the villagers. Seeing his father's grave wounds and his mother's pale face, Bandwa felt a surge of despair. "No," he whispered, falling to his knees. His hands trembled as he reached out to his father, who was barely breathing, and his mother, who was lost in an enchanted slumber. Stoneheart, seeing Bandwa's despair, placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Bandwa, we will fight this. For your parents, for Zephyria." Bandwa, his eyes filled with tears, nodded. "You're right, Stoneheart. This is my challenge." With renewed determination, Bandwa stood up, his gaze hardening. The dark sorcerer had wreaked havoc on his home, hurt his parents, and threatened his people. It was time for the prophecy's child to face his greatest challenge yet. As Bandwa prepared to face the dark sorcerer, Stoneheart carried Bandwa's parents, though Ren and Seraphina, to a safer location. Finding a hidden grove, he gently laid them down, promising to return once Bandwa had dealt with the sorcerer. Meanwhile, Bandwa stood at the edge of Zephyria, his warrior spirit ignited. He met the sorcerer's magical attacks with a combination of his own spells and his warrior skills. He parried and dodged, his sword clashing against the dark energy with a resounding echo. Despite the sorcerer's powerful attacks, Bandwa held his ground. The sorcerer, weakened from the previous battle, cast his final spell in desperation, Doom's Descent. The sky darkened, a massive ball of dark energy threatening to obliterate everything in its path, caught off guard. Bandwa failed to notice the sorcerer's retreat. When the dust settled, the sorcerer was nowhere to be found. With the immediate threat gone, Bandwa's thoughts raced to his parents. He looked around, but they were nowhere in sight. Suddenly, a message from Stoneheart echoed in his mind. Bandwa, your parents are safe. I've taken them to a hidden grove. Follow my instructions, and you will find us. Relief washed over Bandwa, but as he looked around at the ruins of Zephyria, his heart ached. His home was destroyed, his people suffered, and the dark sorcerer was still at large. But he was not defeated. He was the child of prophecy, and he would fight until Zephyria was safe again. Bandwa walked through the ruins of Zephyria, his heart heavy with the sight of his once vibrant home now reduced to ashes. The laughter and joy that once filled the streets were replaced by silence, broken only by the occasional whimper of pain or sorrow. He made his way to the hidden grove, following Stoneheart's instructions. There, amidst the greenery and peace of the grove, Bandwa found his parents. His father, though Ren, was still unconscious, his face pale but peaceful. His mother, Seraphina, was stirring, her eyes fluttering open. Bandwa, she whispered, her voice weak but filled with relief. You're safe. Bandwa knelt beside her, taking her hand in his. I am, mother, and so are you and father. We're safe. The days that followed were filled with recovery and rebuilding. Bandwa, along with Stoneheart and the people of Zephyria, worked tirelessly to restore their home. Each brick laid, each tree planted, was a symbol of their resilience, their refusal to surrender to despair. But amidst the rebuilding, Bandwa knew his journey was far from over. The dark sorcerer was still out there, and he could attack again at any time. Bandwa needed to prepare, to become stronger, not just for himself but for Zephyria. As Zephyria began to heal and rebuild, Bandwa found himself standing on a hill overlooking his homeland. From this vantage point, he could see the whole of Zephyria, its scars a stark reminder of the recent attack. His thoughts drifted to the battle, the loss, and the damage inflicted on his parents and his people. He realized that he had much to learn, much to prepare for. His journey was just beginning. Returning home, he found his father, though Ren, repairing parts of their house, and his mother, Seraphina, cooking their meal. The familiar sight brought a sense of comfort, a piece of normalcy amidst the chaos. Stoneheart, in his corner, seemed to be in a deep sleep, but as Bandwa entered, he received a mental message from him. Where did you go, Bandwa? Just needed some fresh air. Stoneheart, Bandwa replied, a small smile on his face at his friend's concern. They sat down for dinner. Bandwa broached a topic that had been on his mind. Mother, father, I've been thinking. I need to leave Zephyria. His parents looked at him, surprise evident on their faces. Bandwa continued, I need to gain more experience, learn more about the world beyond our borders. I need to be prepared for when the dark sorcerer returns. His declaration hung in the air, a testament to his determination and his resolve to protect Zephyria. This was not just a meal, but a turning point in Bandwa's journey. As Bandwa and Stoneheart prepared to leave Zephyria, the people gathered to bid them farewell. Though Ren and Seraphina, Bandwa's parents, reassured their son, don't worry about us, Bandwa. We will protect Zephyria in your absence. During the farewell, a young girl shyly stepped forward. A bundle of rice food wrapped in a leaf clutched in her hands. Her eyes, filled with gratitude and sadness, met Bandwa's. Thank you, Bandwa, she said, her voice barely a whisper. You saved Zephyria. You saved my parents. Bandwa felt a pang in his heart. He knelt down to her level, taking the food from her hands with a gentle smile. Thank you for this, he said, patting her head. I promise. I will return and keep everyone safe. The girl nodded, a small smile appearing on her face. Bandwa stood up, turning to the crowd. His resolve strengthened. I will return, stronger and wiser. I will protect Zephyria, no matter what. Until then, stay strong. With their goodbyes said, Bandwa and Stoneheart set off, their journey taking them away from Zephyria and into the unknown. As they disappeared into the distance, the people of Zephyria watched, their hearts filled with hope and anticipation. As Bandwa and Stoneheart ventured further away from Zephyria, they found themselves in unfamiliar territories. The lush greenery of Zephyria was replaced by dense forests, towering mountains, and vast plains. Every step they took was a step into the unknown, bringing with it a sense of adventure and uncertainty, despite the challenges. Bandwa was undeterred. He faced each day with determination, his warrior training and magical abilities proving invaluable. Stoneheart, with his knowledge of the ancient forest and its creatures, guided them through the wilderness, ensuring their safety as they traveled. Bandwa took the opportunity to learn from his experiences. He studied the flora and fauna, practiced his magic, and honed his combat skills. He listened to Stoneheart's stories about the ancient times, absorbing the wisdom they carried. One night, as they sat by a campfire under the starlit sky, Bandwa looked at the rice food the young girl had given him. He shared it with Stoneheart, the simple meal a reminder of the home they had left behind and the promise Bandwa had made: "I will protect Zephyria, no matter what it takes," Bandwa said, his voice filled with determination. Stoneheart nodded, his eyes reflecting the dancing flames of the campfire. "And I will be with you every step of the way, Bandwa." Their journey had just begun, and they had a long way to go. But with each other's support and their shared resolve, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. As Bandwa and Stoneheart sat by the campfire, a sudden cry for help echoed through the night. Startled, they sprang to their feet, following the sound to its source. In a clearing, they found a scene of chaos. A carriage was surrounded by a group of bandits, their menacing grins illuminated by the flickering torchlight. Inside the carriage, a young girl peered out, her eyes wide with fear, for guards stood protectively around the carriage, their swords drawn. "Hand over the girl, and no one gets hurt," the leader of the bandit sneered, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. The guards stood their ground, their faces set in grim determination. "We won't let you harm her," the oldest guard retorted, his voice steady despite the overwhelming odds. The tension in the air was palpable, a storm brewing on the horizon. Bandwa and Stoneheart exchanged a glance, their decision made in that silent communication. With a nod from Bandwa, Stoneheart stepped forward, his towering form casting a long shadow. "Leave now, and we won't harm you," he warned the bandits, his voice deep and commanding. The bandits laughed, their attention now on Stoneheart and Bandwa. Little did they know, they had just escalated the situation from a standoff to a battle. As the laughter of the bandits echoed in the clearing, Bandwa and Stoneheart prepared for battle. Stoneheart, with his imposing form, stepped forward, drawing the attention of the bandits. "Leave now, and we won't harm you," he warned, his voice resonating with an unspoken threat. The bandits, however, only laughed louder, their arrogance blinding them to the danger they were in. Bandwa, seizing the moment of distraction, sprung into action. He launched a spell, Blinding Flash. A bright light burst from his wand, momentarily disorienting the bandits. Seizing the opportunity, the guards attacked, their swords clashing with the bandits. In the ensuing chaos, Bandwa and Stoneheart fought with precision and skill. Bandwa's magical spells and warrior abilities combined with Stoneheart's brute strength overwhelmed the bandits, one by one. The bandits fell, their laughter replaced by cries of defeat. Soon, the clearing was silent, save for the heavy breathing of the victorious. The guards, awestruck by Bandwa and Stoneheart's abilities, thanked them profusely. The young girl, now safe, peeked out from the carriage, her eyes wide with wonder and gratitude. As Bandwa and Stoneheart left the clearing, they knew they had made a difference. They had saved a life, and in doing so, they had taken another step in their journey. As the dust settled in the clearing, the young girl stepped out of the carriage. Her eyes, wide with awe, flicked between Bandwa and Stoneheart. "Thank you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "You saved us." Bandwa, sheathing his sword, nodded at her. It was the right thing to do. Stoneheart, standing beside Bandwa, added, "We couldn't just stand by." One of the guards, a burly man with a grizzled beard, stepped forward. "We owe you our lives," he said, extending a hand towards Bandwa. "I'm Harold, captain of the guard. This is Princess Ilara." Bandwa, taking Harold's hand, felt a sense of camaraderie. I'm Bandwa, and this is Stoneheart. We're on a journey to gain experience and knowledge. Princess Ilara, looking at Bandwa and Stoneheart, said, perhaps we could help each other. We're on our way to the kingdom of Eldoria. There's a vast library there, filled with knowledge from all over the world. Bandwa and Stoneheart exchanged a glance. This could be an opportunity to learn more, to prepare better for their future challenges. We'd be honored to accompany you, Princess Ilara. Bandwa said, a determined look in his eyes. With that, their group grew a little larger, their journey a little more promising. As they traveled towards Eldoria, Princess Ilara shared tales of her kingdom. Eldoria is a realm of knowledge and wisdom, she began, her eyes sparkling with pride. Our library, the Grand Archive, is the heart of the kingdom. It holds knowledge from every corner of the world. She described the towering spires of the castle, the bustling marketplaces filled with traders from distant lands, the tranquil gardens blooming with exotic flowers, and the serene river that wound its way through the city. But the true beauty of Eldoria lies in its people, she continued, scholars, artisans, farmers, and warriors, all living in harmony, each contributing to the kingdom in their own way. Bandwa and Stoneheart listened intently, their minds painting a picture of Eldoria. It sounded like a place where they could learn much, a place that could aid them in their quest. As they journeyed, they faced challenges of the road, tricky terrains, unpredictable weather, and wild creatures. But with their combined skills and the guidance of Harold and Princess Ilara, they overcame each obstacle. With each passing day, Eldoria drew closer, and with it, the promise of new knowledge and experiences. After days of travel, the group finally arrived at the gates of Eldoria. The city was even more magnificent than Ilara's descriptions. The grand spires of the castle reached towards the sky, the marketplaces buzzed with activity, and the river sparkled under the sun's rays. As they entered the city, Bandwa and Stoneheart couldn't help but marvel at the sight. The city was alive with energy, a stark contrast to the quiet calm of Zephyria. They were led to the castle, where they were welcomed by the king and queen of Eldoria. They were gracious hosts, expressing their gratitude for the safe return of their daughter and offering Bandwa and Stoneheart the hospitality of their kingdom. Over the next few days, Bandwa and Stoneheart explored Eldoria. They spent hours in the Grand Archive, poring over ancient texts and maps. They practiced their combat skills with the kingdom's warriors, learning new techniques and strategies. They even tried their hand at Eldorian crafts, appreciating the skill and patience required. But amidst all the learning and exploration, Bandwa couldn't help but feel a twinge of homesickness. He missed Zephyria, his parents, and the familiar comfort of his home. But he knew this journey was necessary. He was here to become stronger, to protect his home. As they settled into their new routine in Eldoria, Bandwa and Stoneheart knew they were on the right path. They were growing, learning, and preparing for the challenges that lay ahead. In the heart of Eldoria, Bandwa and Stoneheart immersed themselves in their quest for knowledge and growth. The Grand Archive became their second home, its ancient texts and scrolls offering invaluable insights. Bandwa spent hours studying magic, his understanding deepening with each passing day. He practiced new spells, honed his control, and even learned to weave magic with his warrior skills, creating a unique fighting style. Stoneheart, on the other hand, found a mentor in Harold. The captain of the guard taught him advanced combat techniques, strategies, and the importance of teamwork in battle. Stoneheart's strength, combined with his newfound skills, made him an even more formidable ally. However, it wasn't all work and no play. Bandwa and Stoneheart also explored Eldoria, experiencing its culture and traditions. They attended festivals, sampled local cuisine, and even participated in a friendly tournament. Their bond with the people of Eldoria growing stronger. One evening, as they sat in their quarters, Bandwa turned to Stoneheart. "We've learned so much here, Stoneheart, but I can't help but miss Zephyria." Stoneheart nodded, his gaze thoughtful. "I miss it too, Bandwa, but remember why we're here. We're doing this for Zephyria, for our people." Bandwa smiled, his resolve strengthened. "You're right, Stoneheart, we're here for a reason, and we'll return home when we're ready. Life in Eldoria was proving fruitful for Bandwa and Stoneheart. Their days were filled with learning, training, and forming bonds with the people of Eldoria. However, an unexpected challenge was about to test their newly acquired skills and knowledge. One day, while they were in the middle of a training session, a messenger arrived, breathless and anxious. A beast, he gasped, from the dark forest, attacking the outskirts of the city. Without a second thought, Bandwa and Stoneheart, along with Harold and a group of guards, rushed towards the site. What they encountered was a sight to behold, a massive beast, its eyes glowing with a sinister light, wreaking havoc. Bandwa stepped forward, his magic pulsing in his veins. He cast a spell, binding light. Bands of glowing energy shot towards the beast, aiming to restrain it. Stoneheart, in sync with Bandwa, charged at the beast, his strength and combat skills on full display. The battle was fierce, the beast's strength formidable, but Bandwa, Stoneheart, and the guards fought bravely, their determination unwavering. After a grueling fight, the beast was finally subdued and driven back into the dark forest. As they returned to the city, their bodies weary but spirits high, they were met with cheers and applause. The people of Eldoria hailed them as heroes, their gratitude evident in their smiles and praises. That night, as they nursed their wounds and shared their experiences, Bandwa and Stoneheart realized how far they had come. They had faced an unexpected challenge and emerged victorious, their bond with Eldoria and its people stronger than ever. In the aftermath of the battle with the beast, Bandwa and Stoneheart found themselves in the heart of Eldoria's community. They were hailed as heroes, their bravery celebrated, and their bond with the people of Eldoria deepened. Amidst the festivities, Bandwa found himself sharing stories of Zephyria, his parents, and his journey. The people listened, their eyes wide with fascination and respect. In turn, they shared their own stories, their dreams, and their hopes. It was a night of shared laughter, tales, and camaraderie. Stoneheart, too, found a sense of belonging. He was no longer just a visitor but a part of Eldoria. His bond with Harold and the guards grew stronger. A brotherhood formed in the heat of battle. As the night deepened, Bandwa looked around at the faces lit by the warm glow of the fire. He felt a sense of contentment. He missed Zephyria, but he knew he had another home here in Eldoria. The following days continued in a similar vein, filled with training, learning, and strengthening their bonds with the people of Eldoria. Bandwa and Stoneheart were growing, not just in strength and knowledge, but in their understanding of the world and its people. As they lay under the stars one night, Bandwa turned to Stoneheart. "We've made a family here, Stoneheart, just like we have in Zephyria." Stoneheart nodded, his gaze on the twinkling stars above. "Yes, we have, Bandwa, and when the time comes, we'll protect them, just like we will protect Zephyria." Life in Eldoria was peaceful, and Bandwa and Stoneheart had found a second home amongst its people. However, their tranquility was shattered when a messenger from Zephyria arrived, bearing grave news. Bandwa's heart pounded in his chest as he read the message. The dark sorcerer had returned and was attacking Zephyria. His parents and the people were putting up a brave fight, but they needed him. Without a moment's hesitation, Bandwa decided to return to Zephyria. Stoneheart, standing by his side, nodded in agreement. They had a duty to protect their home, and they would not falter. The news of their departure spread through Eldoria like wildfire. The people, though saddened, understood their decision. They came forward, offering supplies, well wishes, and promises of assistance if needed. Princess Ilara and Harold, too, pledged their support. "Eldoria stands with Zephyria," Ilara declared, her voice echoing in the silent courtyard. "We will aid you in your fight." With their goodbyes said and promises made, Bandwa and Stoneheart set off towards Zephyria. The journey back was filled with urgency and determination. They were stronger, wiser, and ready to face the dark sorcerer. As Eldoria disappeared behind them, they carried with them the lessons learned, the bonds formed, and the resolve to protect their home. As Bandwa and Stoneheart neared the borders of Zephyria, they could see the smoke rising and feel the tremors of magic in the air. The battle was ongoing, and their home was in danger. They rushed towards the chaos, their hearts pounding with fear and determination. As they entered the battlefield, they were met with a sight that made their blood run cold. The dark sorcerer, stronger and more menacing than before, was laying siege to Zephyria. Bandua's parents, though Ren and Serafina, were leading the defense, their faces etched with exhaustion but their spirits unbroken. Seeing their son, they felt a surge of relief and hope. Bandua, Stoneheart, though Ren called out, his voice hoarse, "You're back, we're here, father." Bandua replied, his gaze fixed on the dark sorcerer, "And we're not letting him destroy our home." Stoneheart, standing tall and resolute beside Bandua, added, "We stand with Zephyria." Always, with their arrival, the tide of the battle began to turn. Bandua and Stoneheart, with their newfound knowledge and skills, were a force to be reckoned with. They fought bravely, their power a beacon of hope for the people of Zephyria. The dark sorcerer, taken aback by their strength, faltered. The battle was far from over, but for the first time since his return, there was a glimmer of hope. With Bandua and Stoneheart's return, the battle took a dramatic turn. The dark sorcerer, surprised by their newfound strength, struggled to keep up with their combined might. Bandua, his magic more potent than ever, launched a barrage of spells at the sorcerer. Each spell was a testament to his growth, his time in Eldoria having honed his abilities. "Blazing Inferno," he cried, and a wave of fire surged towards the sorcerer. Stoneheart, not to be outdone, charged at the sorcerer with a roar. His strength, enhanced by his training with Harold, was a sight to behold. He swung his weapon with precision and power, forcing the sorcerer to retreat. The people of Zephyria, witnessing their bravery, rallied, their spirits lifted. They fought back with renewed vigor. The battlefield echoed with their cries of defiance, their determination unwavering, though Ren and Serafina, fighting side by side with their son, felt a surge of pride. "Our son has truly become a protector of Zephyria," though Ren said, his voice filled with emotion. "Yes," Serafina agreed, her eyes shining with tears of pride and relief. "He and Stoneheart are our hope." As the battle raged on, Bandua and Stoneheart stood their ground, their resolve unbroken. They were the protectors of Zephyria, and they would not back down. The battle raged on, the air thick with tension and magic. Bandua and Stoneheart, standing at the forefront, were a beacon of hope for the people of Zephyria. Bandua, his magic crackling in the air, locked eyes with the dark sorcerer. "This ends now," he declared, his voice echoing across the battlefield. With a swift movement, he cast a spell, Binding Vortex. A swirling vortex of energy formed around the sorcerer, trapping him. Stoneheart, seizing the opportunity, charged at the sorcerer, his weapon raised. With a powerful swing, he struck, the impact echoing through the battlefield. The dark sorcerer, caught off guard, stumbled, his magic faltering. The people of Zephyria, witnessing the scene, cheered, their spirits lifted. However, the battle was far from over. The sorcerer, regaining his footing, launched a counterattack, his magic darker and more potent. The battlefield once again plunged into chaos, but Bandua and Stoneheart were ready. They stood their ground, their determination unwavering. With every spell Bandua cast, with every swing of Stoneheart's weapon, they pushed the sorcerer back. As the battle continued, it was clear that the tide was turning. The people of Zephyria, inspired by Bandua and Stoneheart's bravery, fought back with renewed vigor. Their cheers and cries of defiance filled the air, a testament to their resilience. The battle for Zephyria had reached its climax. The dark sorcerer, despite his immense power, was being pushed back by the relentless onslaught of Bandua, Stoneheart, and the people of Zephyria. Bandua, his body aching but his spirit unbroken, focused his energy. He called upon all his knowledge, all his training, and all his experiences. "Stoneheart," he said, his voice steady, "it's time for our final move." Stoneheart, understanding his friend's intent, nodded. "I'm with you." Bandua, with a deep breath, Bandua started to chant, his magic weaving around him. Stoneheart, in sync with Bandua, charged towards the sorcerer, his weapon ready. As Stoneheart reached the sorcerer, Bandua released his spell, Elemental Fury. He cried out. A surge of magical energy, embodying the elements of fire, water, earth, and air, rushed towards the sorcerer. Converging with Stoneheart's powerful strike, the resulting explosion of magic and energy rocked the battlefield, a blinding light illuminating the scene. The dark sorcerer, caught in the blast, was thrown back, his dark magic dissipating. As the light faded, the people of Zephyria held their breath, their eyes on the smoke-filled battlefield. The silence was deafening, the tension palpable, but then, emerging from the smoke, came Bandwa and Stoneheart, weary but victorious. The dark sorcerer lay defeated, his reign of terror over. A cheer erupted from the people of Zephyria, their joy and relief echoing through the air. With the dark sorcerer defeated, Zephyria was finally safe. The people, their hearts filled with relief and joy, erupted into cheers. Bandwa and Stoneheart, their bodies weary but spirits high, were hailed as heroes. The victory was not just theirs, but of all of Zephyria. Every person who had stood their ground, who had defended their home, had contributed to this victory. And so, the celebration that followed was filled with shared stories, laughter, and a sense of unity that was stronger than ever. Bandwa, looking at the smiling faces around him, felt a warmth spread through him. This was his home, these were his people, and he had managed to protect them. Beside him, Stoneheart shared his sentiment, a sense of contentment visible in his eyes. The celebration went on into the night. The sky lit up with magical fireworks, the air filled with music and laughter. It was a night to remember, a night of victory and unity. As the night deepened and the celebrations wound down, Bandwa and Stoneheart found themselves sitting under the familiar stars of Zephyria. They had come a long way, faced numerous challenges, and emerged stronger. "We did it, Stoneheart," Bandwa said, his voice soft. "We protected our home." Stoneheart, looking at Bandwa, replied, "Yes, we did, and we'll continue to do so, no matter what comes our way." With the break of dawn, Zephyria woke to a new day, a new beginning. The dark sorcerer's defeat marked the end of a challenging time and the start of a hopeful future. Bandwa and Stoneheart, having rested after the long battle, walked through Zephyria, their hearts swelling with pride. The people greeted them with smiles and nods of respect, their gratitude evident in their eyes as they reached the center of Zephyria. They found Oren and Seraphina waiting for them. Their parents looked at them, their eyes shining with pride and relief. "You've done well, Bandwa," Oren said, his voice filled with emotion. "You've protected Zephyria, just as you promised, and you, Stoneheart," Seraphina added, "have shown us the strength of your heart. You are a true protector of Zephyria." Bandwa and Stoneheart stood tall, their journey having come full circle. They had left Zephyria to learn and grow, and they had returned as its protectors, as the sun rose higher, bathing Zephyria in its warm glow. Bandwa and Stoneheart knew their journey was far from over. There would be more challenges, more adventures, and they would face them together, for they were the protectors of Zephyria. As the sun cast its golden glow over Zephyria, Bandwa and Stoneheart stood at the heart of the city, their hearts filled with a sense of accomplishment and pride. They had returned from their journey stronger, wiser, and had protected their home from the dark sorcerer. But they knew that their journey was far from over. In the days that followed, Zephyria began to recover from the battle. The damages were repaired, the people returned to their daily lives, and a sense of normalcy started to return. Bandwa and Stoneheart, too, fell back into their familiar routines. They resumed their training, spent time with their family and friends, and helped in rebuilding Zephyria. However, amidst the peace and tranquility, Bandwa couldn't shake off a feeling of restlessness. There was so much more to learn, so many places to explore, and he felt a yearning to set off on a new adventure. One evening, as he sat with Stoneheart under the starlit sky, he voiced his thoughts. "Stoneheart," he began, his voice soft, "I think it's time for us to embark on a new journey." Stoneheart, turning to look at Bandwa, nodded. "I feel it too, Bandwa. We've protected Zephyria, but there's so much more we can do, so much more we can learn." With a shared understanding, they decided to set off on a new journey. They would explore new lands, learn from different cultures, and continue to grow stronger. But this time, they would not be alone. Harold, who had become a close friend and mentor, decided to join them. "I've spent my life protecting Eldoria," he said, a determined look in his eyes. "But I believe I can do more. I want to learn, to grow, just like you too." And so, with the blessings of their parents and the good wishes of the people of Zephyria and Eldoria, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold set off on a new journey. They left with the promise of returning stronger and with more stories to tell as they disappeared into the horizon. The people of Zephyria watched, their hearts filled with hope and anticipation. They knew their protectors would return, and when they did, they would be ready to welcome them home. As Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold ventured beyond the familiar landscapes of Zephyria and Eldoria, they found themselves in awe of the vast world that lay before them. Each passing day brought new experiences, new challenges, and new knowledge. Their first stop was the kingdom of Lumeria, a land known for its advanced technology and innovation. The city was a marvel of engineering, with towering structures of glass and steel, airships that soared through the sky, and gadgets that seemed to defy the laws of magic and physics. In Lumeria, they met brilliant inventors, skilled engineers, and wise scholars. They learned about the power of technology, its potential to change the world, and the importance of using it responsibly. Bandwa, fascinated by the blend of magic and technology, spent hours studying and experimenting, his understanding of magic deepening. Stoneheart, on the other hand, found himself intrigued by the mechanical weapons and defense systems of Lumeria. He trained with the city's guards, learning new combat techniques and strategies that incorporated technology. Harold, ever the observant and quick learner, absorbed the culture and knowledge of Lumeria. He spent time with the people, understanding their way of life, their beliefs, and their dreams. As they journeyed through Lumeria, they formed new alliances, gained valuable knowledge, and left a lasting impact. They helped in resolving conflicts, aided in technological advancements, and even participated in a grand tournament. Their victories celebrated citywide. After weeks of exploration and learning, they knew it was time to move on. They bid farewell to Lumeria, their minds filled with memories and their hearts with gratitude. As they set off towards the next kingdom, they carried with them the lessons learned, the friendships formed, and the promise of returning. Leaving the technologically advanced Lumeria behind, their next destination was the kingdom of mystics, a land shrouded in mystery and known for its inhabitants' deep connection with nature and the spiritual realm. As they journeyed through the lush forests, they could feel a sense of tranquility and harmony enveloping them. The people of the kingdom of mystics lived in harmony with nature, their homes built around ancient trees, streams flowing through their settlements, and wildlife roaming freely. In the kingdom of mystics, they met wise elders, powerful seers, and skilled healers. They learned about the power of nature, the importance of balance, and the deep connections between all living things. Bandwa, fascinated by the spiritual practices and natural magic of the mystics, spent his days learning from the elders. He discovered new aspects of magic, ones that were deeply connected to nature and the spirit. Stoneheart, intrigued by the mystics' understanding of nature, learned about the flora and fauna of the kingdom. He discovered medicinal plants, learned about the creatures of the forest, and even formed a unique bond with a majestic wolf. Harold, always keen to understand the cultures of the places they visited, spent time with the people, participating in their daily activities, and learning about their traditions and beliefs. After weeks of exploration and learning, they knew it was time to move on. They bid farewell to the kingdom of mystics, their minds filled with newfound knowledge and their hearts with respect for the harmonious way of life of the mystics. As they set off towards their next destination, they carried with them the lessons learned, the friendships formed, and the promise of returning. The next leg of their journey brought Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold to the desert kingdom of Sandora. As they traversed the vast, golden dunes, they marveled at the resilience of the people who called this harsh landscape home. Upon their arrival, they were welcomed by Queen Sheba, a strong and wise ruler known for her mastery of sand magic. "Welcome, travelers," she greeted, her voice echoing through the grand hall. "We've heard tales of your journey. Sandora is honored by your visit. We're grateful for your hospitality."
MySN101.
Queen Sheba, Bandwa replied, bowing respectfully. We've come to learn and share knowledge. In Sandora, they learned about survival, resilience, and the power of community. They discovered the secrets of sand magic, the art of desert navigation, and the rich history and culture of the desert people. Bandwa, fascinated by sand magic, spent his days learning from Queen Sheba. Sand, like life, is ever-changing, she told him during a lesson. To control it, you must understand and respect its nature. Stoneheart, intrigued by the Sandaran survival skills, trained with the desert scouts. The desert may seem harsh, his mentor, a seasoned scout named Rashid, explained, but it provides for those who know its secrets. Harold, ever the observant learner, spent his time understanding Sandora's history and culture. He shared stories of Zephyria and Eldoria, creating a cultural exchange that enriched both sides. After several weeks in Sandora, they knew it was time to move on. As they bid farewell, Queen Sheba addressed them. You came as learners, but you leave as friends. Sandora will always welcome you. As they left the golden dunes of Sandora behind, they carried with them new knowledge, unforgettable experiences, and the warmth of newfound friendships. Leaving the arid dunes of Sandora behind, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold made their way towards the mountainous north. The journey was challenging, the terrain rugged and the weather harsh, but they pressed on, their spirits unbroken. As they ascended into the snow-covered peaks, they were met by the hearty mountain folk, known for their resilience and their mastery of elemental magic. At the heart of the mountain range was the city of Kulda, carved into the side of the largest peak. They were welcomed by King Hrothgar, a robust man with a booming laugh and a heart as warm as the city's central hearth. Welcome, travelers, he bellowed, his voice echoing in the grand hall. We've heard of your journey. Kulda is honored by your presence. We're grateful for your warm welcome. King Hrothgar, Bandwa replied, his breath visible in the cold air. We've come to learn from your people and share our own knowledge. In Kulda, they learned about the mountain folks' way of life, their traditions, and their unique magic. Bandwa was fascinated by the elemental magic, its raw power, and its deep connection to the natural world. He spent his days with the city's magicians, learning and practicing. Stoneheart, intrigued by the mountain folks' survival skills, trained with the city's scouts. His mentor, a seasoned scout named Freya, taught him about the flora and fauna of the mountains, survival skills in the harsh weather, and the art of combat at high altitudes. Harold, always interested in understanding the culture and history of the places they visited, spent his time with the city's elders. He listened to their stories, learned about their traditions, and shared tales of their own journey. Their time in Kulda was filled with learning, exploration, and forming friendships. They shared stories by the central hearth, tasted the mountain folks' hearty cuisine, and even participated in a traditional dance during a festival. After several weeks in Kulda, they knew it was time to move on. As they bid farewell, King Hrothgar addressed them. You came as learners, but you leave as friends. Kulda will always welcome you. With the blessings of King Hrothgar and the people of Kulda, they set off towards their next destination, carrying with them the memories and knowledge they had gained. Leaving the snowy peaks of Kulda behind, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold journeyed towards the coastal south, a region known for its vibrant culture, delicious cuisine, and beautiful beaches. As they descended from the mountains, the air grew warmer, the vegetation lusher, and the sound of the ocean waves became a constant companion. Their destination was the city of Azuria, a bustling port city with cobblestone streets, colorful buildings, and a lively market filled with an array of goods from all over the world. Azuria was a melting pot of cultures, its people a mix of locals and travelers from distant lands. Upon their arrival, they were welcomed by Mayor Isabella, a charismatic woman with a radiant smile. Welcome, travelers, she greeted, her voice carrying over the sound of the bustling city. Azuria is thrilled to have you. We're excited to be here, Mayor Isabella, Bandwa replied, his eyes taking in the vibrant city. We've heard wonderful things about Azuria. In Azuria, they immersed themselves in the local culture. They explored the bustling market, where they discovered exotic fruits, spices, and handcrafted items. Bandwa was particularly fascinated by a stall selling magical artifacts, where he spent hours talking to the merchant and learning about their uses. Stoneheart, intrigued by the city's cuisine, spent his time at the food stalls, tasting local delicacies like the spiciest firefish stew and the sweet seafruit tart. He even learned to cook some of the dishes under the guidance of a friendly chef named Rosa. Harold, interested in the city's history, visited the Azuria Museum, where he learned about the city's past as a pirate haven and its transformation into a thriving port city. He was particularly intrigued by the legend of the sea serpent, a mythical creature said to protect Azuria. Their days were filled with learning and exploration, but they also took time to relax. They spent afternoons at the beautiful Azure Beach, where they swam in the clear blue waters, played beach games with the locals, and watched stunning sunsets. As they spent time in Azuria, they formed lasting friendships. They shared stories with the locals, learned from their experiences, and enriched their understanding of the world. After several weeks in Azuria, they knew it was time to move on. As they bid farewell, Mayor Isabella told them, "You came as travelers, but you leave as friends of Azuria. You're welcome back anytime." With the memories of Azuria in their hearts, they set off towards their next destination. After leaving Azuria, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold decided to make camp for a few days before heading towards the forests of the east. As they sat around the campfire under the starlit sky, they found themselves reflecting on their journey so far. Bandwa, staring into the dancing flames, broke the silence. "We've learned so much, haven't we?" he said, his voice soft. From Lumeria's technology to the mystic's connection with nature, Sandora's resilience, and Azuria's vibrant culture. Stoneheart nodded, his gaze on the twinkling stars above. "We've grown too. We've faced challenges, solved problems, and even cooked a decent meal," he added with a chuckle. Remembering their culinary adventures in Azuria, Harold, joining in the conversation, said, "We've also made friends, formed alliances, and understood the world beyond Zephyria and Eldoria. We've become stronger, not just in terms of power, but in our understanding and empathy." As they shared their thoughts and experiences, they realized how far they had come. Their journey had not only been about learning and growing, but also about understanding the diversity of the world and the importance of unity and friendship. However, their journey was far from over. They knew there were more lands to explore, more people to meet, and more challenges to face, and they were ready for it. As they prepared to continue their journey the next day, they were suddenly alerted by a loud rustling in the nearby bushes. They quickly got up, their senses heightened. They knew that they were about to face a new challenge, a test of the skills they had acquired so far. As the rustling grew louder, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold readied themselves. Their hearts pounded in their chests, but they stood their ground, their eyes fixed on the bushes. Suddenly, a massive creature emerged, its eyes glowing in the dark. It was a grizzly bear, a creature known for its strength and ferocity. It must have been attracted by the smell of their food. Bandwa, recalling his lessons in Lumeria, quickly cast a protective barrier around their camp. Stoneheart, using his knowledge from the Kingdom of Mystics, tried to calm the creature, speaking in soft, soothing tones. Harold, remembering the combat strategies he learned in Sandora, prepared to distract the bear if needed. They worked together, their actions a testament to their growth and the experiences they had gained on their journey. After a tense standoff, the grizzly bear, seemingly calmed by Stoneheart's efforts, slowly backed away, disappearing into the forest. They let out a collective sigh of relief, their hearts still racing from the adrenaline. "That was close," Bandwa said, his voice shaky. "But we handled it well," Stoneheart replied, a hint of pride in his voice. "Indeed, we did," Harold agreed. "Our journey has prepared us well." After ensuring the area was safe, they settled back into their camp. The incident a reminder of the challenges they could face, but they knew they were ready to face whatever came their way. The next morning, they packed up their camp and set off towards the forests of the east, ready for the next part of their journey. As they entered the forests of the east, Bandwa, Stoneheart, and Harold were immediately captivated by the beauty of the place. The forest was dense with towering trees, their leaves forming a canopy overhead that filtered the sunlight into a soothing green hue. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of earth and leaves, and the sound of birdsong. They made their way deeper into the forest, the sense of peace and tranquility enveloping them. However, they couldn't shake off a feeling of being watched. It wasn't threatening, but more like a curious observer. As the day turned into night, they set up camp. As they sat around the fire, sharing stories and laughter, they noticed a strange glow emanating from deeper within the forest. It was faint, but distinctly noticeable against the darkness of the forest. Intrigued, they decided to investigate the source of the glow. As they approached, they found a clearing with a large, ancient tree at its center. The tree was glowing with a soft, ethereal light, its leaves shimmering like stars against the night sky. They stood there, awestruck by the sight. The tree radiated a powerful yet gentle energy, its glow pulsating in a soothing rhythm. It was a sight none of them had ever seen or heard of before. "What is this?" Bandwa wondered aloud, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know," Stoneheart replied, his eyes fixed on the glowing tree. "But it's beautiful. It's a mystery," Harold said, a sense of awe in his voice. "And we're going to uncover it." As they stood there, taking in the sight of the glowing tree, they knew they had stumbled upon something extraordinary, something that held the secrets of the forests of the East, and with that, their journey in the forests of the East had just begun. A new adventure awaited them, a new mystery to unravel, and they were ready for it. But that is a story for another season.